Lousy Long with Creations. Today this is a crochet tutorial of how to make Christmas eggnog. I haven't had a crochet tutorial in a long time, but I thought I'd get back into it, especially for the Christmas season, just felt appropriate. You can find the pattern linked down below, and then let's just jump right into the tutorial. Here's a little up-close details with the eggnog. I have our whipped cream with our chocolate or nutmeg, cinnamon shreds, toppings. I have a cinnamon stick, and then this is the icing. It's supposed to be in a clear cup. This uses some cool techniques like the long single crochet, as well as crocheting through 2 layers at the same time to create this. For supplies, I have white yarn, brown for my cinnamon stick, I have tan, and I have gray for the edges of my cup. I also have a G crochet hook. I use Prim. They are my favorite crochet hooks in the whole entire world. I have a bent tapestry needle. You can do it with a straight tapestry needle, but I think it's a lot easier with a bent one to add those details. I also have 2 stitch markers. I like using this one for rounds, and then when I'm doing multiple rounds of single crochet, I'll stick this guy in so I don't have to move it every time. And of course, you'll need scissors. We're gonna start by making this base. I like to make it first because then once I start doing the tan, I can sew it before I close it. I just think it's a lot easier than sewing on after. So I'm starting with our gray yarn. You're gonna start by making a magic ring with 6 single crochets. On my YouTube, I have a slower tutorial of how to do a magic ring, but just a quick one. I like having my tail here, crossing to make an X, pinching in the middle. Take your hook, go under, over, and pull that guy through. Shimmy it off. I like to pinch right here and tighten. And then this is your chain 1. Then we're gonna put our 6 single crochets into the ring on both layers. You might notice I am yarning under instead of yarning over. This is just a personal preference. It doesn't matter. This is just something I picked up. It kind of makes my stitches look like little X's versus not, but it doesn't matter as long as you get it done. It's a common technique for amigurumi just because they're a little bit tighter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm tightening it, and then I'm gonna put my stitch marker in. Okay. In each of the 6 stitches, I'm going to do an increase, which is 2 single crochets. So you're going to go from 6 total to 12 total by putting 2 single crochets into each stitch. Also, if you hear my laundry in the background, no you don't, ignore it. All right. Next round is 1 single crochet and then an increase. So this will take us up to 18 stitches at the end. So there's our 1 single crochet and then our increase. We're gonna repeat that all the way around. If you need slower tutorials, my YouTube page has crochet basics that again takes you through all the steps, just a little bit slower about what everything means. This pattern is a confident beginner pattern. So I'm kind of expecting you to already know some of the stitches and how to put things together, but this tutorial kind of guides you through making it because there are some unique steps to actually assembling it. And who doesn't love a video tutorial to go with the pattern? Doesn't it just make everything easier? All right. Cool. Our last round is going to be 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet in 2 different stitches, and then an increase. And this should bring us up to 24 stitches. Go single crochet, and then an increase. So repeat that around. 1, 2, increase. 1, 2, increase. All right, last one. So we have one side of our coin. I'm going to leave a little bit of a tail and then fasten off. You're going to make another one of these, but instead of fastening off, we're going to leave it on the hook. So I'm going to hop off camera and repeat the same steps we just did, but don't fasten off, and we're going to leave it on the hook, and I'll show you how to assemble them together. I have my second coin. I'm calling them coins, little discs, my circles. It's still fastened on. I'm going to take my second one, and I'm putting my backs together, which is the ones with the tails, sandwiching them together, and then I'm going to single crochet by going through my first one and then through the second one. Take my working yarn, which is still attached because we didn't fasten off, and make a single crochet. We're going to single crochet through both layers all the way around until there's one stitch remaining, and then we'll slip stitch through that one, and this just gives us a rounder look. I like using this technique because it's a little thicker than just one circle, and it has our nice clean edges that look like just a simple single crochet. It looks like it was built into one. I'm gonna trim these just a little bit, not too close so it doesn't come undone or anything. And then I'm just gonna tuck them into our middle. This guy, I'm gonna pull a little bit. I'm kind of holding it when I sandwich it together, that tail stays in. All right, so here's our last single crochet, and then going through, you know, both sides. Instead of single crochet, we're just gonna yarn over, pull through, and then pull through again. This just helps us kind of join it so it's more even. I'm leaving a kind of significant tail because I'm going to be using it to sew. Personal preference, I'd rather have a super long tail and trim it than run out of yarn. I'm then going to take my tapestry needle, put our tail in, and then I'm going through this edge right here. That was through the next stitch, and then going back through, and then through it again. This helps us create a rounder look. And then I'm sticking it under and poking it through to the middle. So when we're ready to sew, it's there for us. All right, let's start to cut. Now that we finished this coin, we have to make this tan an actual body of the cup. So I'm going to start with tan, and we're going to do another magic ring. With our 6 single crochets in it. This is going to start very, very similar to the base. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Tightening. Next round is 6 increases. So we're going to do an increase in each stitch around. So we have 12 at the end. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right. Adding our stitch marker, and then we're going to continue the same sequence. So we're going to do 1 single crochet and then an increase. And the next round will be 2 single crochets and then an increase. The next round will be 3 single crochets and then an increase, 4 single crochets and an increase, and then 5 single crochets and an increase. I'm going to hop off camera to do that, but this is the basics of a circle to make it wider. Again, you can also get the pattern down below, just so you can follow it line by line. This tutorial is just getting you through the process. So I'm going to hop off, and I'll see you at the end of 5 single crochets and then an increase. And repeat that all the way around. Okay, here's the bottom of my eggnog. Again, this was 6 single crochets, 12, which is our increase 6 times, 1 single crochet increase, 2 single crochets increase, 3 single crochets for 3 single crochets and then an increase, 4 increase, and then 5 increase. And now I'm here. Next step is a single crochet in each stitch for 12 rounds. So instead of moving your stitch marker up every single time, which you can totally do, I like to use one of these safety pin looking stitch markers, and I like to put it through one of the posts of the stitches. And that way, when I single crochet, maybe if I pick up all the strands of the yarn, goodness gracious, okay. That way, when I come back around, I don't have to move it because I'm gonna keep on going, but I can always look back down to see where the start of my round is. All right, let me get to the end and I'll show you. Okay, so I just finished round 1. As you can see, I'm not gonna move my stitch marker up, but I know this is my last stitch because it lines up. So you're gonna continue this for a total of 12 single crochet rounds so that you have all of this. And the last stitch will change to white yarn, which I'll show you how to do, but go ahead and single crochet 12 rounds first. I just finished round 12. Let me show you how to change colors to white. So it's just like doing a normal single crochet. You're gonna insert, yarn over, pull through, so you have 2 loops, but instead of yarning over with your tan, you're gonna add your new color. So I kind of hook it around and hold it with this hand, pull through. I like to tighten the tan, and then I like to do one, we'll do a whole round, but just for now we're gonna do 1 single crochet, just kind of lock it into place. And there you go, we're just gonna continue working with that. I'm gonna trim off the tan. And then now, I find it a little easier to sew on the base right now. So I'm just setting that aside, taking my base and my tapestry needle, putting it on. And then I'm gonna sew it to the bottom. I kind of like holding it like this, which is why I take the time now to do it as opposed to do it at the end. No rhyme or reason, just go around where you need to sew this on. I sewed mine around this line just so it has a little bit of a lip so it can kind of sit up on its own. I'm leaving my tail inside, pulling this off, and then I like to do a square knot with these just to make sure everything doesn't come undone. Everything stays where it's supposed to. Cool. Alrighty. So we're gonna do 1 round of single crochets in white, and then I will show you how to do a long single crochet. So go ahead and go all the way around in white, and then I'll pop back on. So I have my 1 row of white single crochet. The next row, we're gonna single crochet 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, because we're gonna start doing this. So, 4 rows down, we're gonna do a long single crochet. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm gonna put it, I'm pulling this out a little bit so I have some room to work with. 2, 3, 4. And if it's 1 down or above, that's totally okay. But you're gonna do a normal single crochet from down here. So this is like you're going into the stitch. And then I'm kind of, hold on. Let me show you this again. It's a little tricky at first, but it's such a cool technique, it's worth figuring out. Okay, insert, yarn over, pull through, pull up to the top, and then yarn over and pull through. So we're gonna single crochet 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm making sure it's in the same round. I'm pulling up a little bit, go down and insert, yarn over, pull through, pull everything up to the top, yarn over, pull through both. And then 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're gonna show it one more time. Pulling up, giving myself some room, going down and insert, yarn over, pull through, and I'm pulling both up to the top, and I'm kind of playing around with this for tension, yarning over and pull through. You're going to continue that all the way around, and then you're going to do one more row of single crochet, just working into our normal rows, just like normal. I finished my long single crochets and then my extra row of white single crochet. I just switched back to gray. And then you're going to single crochet around for 2 rounds. Here are my 2 rounds of single crochets. I'm now going to do a round of half double crochets. This piece is still worked in a spiral. I did not join and chain. I'm just continuing around with half double crochets instead of single crochets. We're going to be doing this for 1 round, and then I'll show you how to fasten off, and then we're going to sew this over to create the lip. Here's my round of half double crochets. In the next stitch, I'm going to do 1 slip stitch, again, just to kind of even our rounds out. I'm going to drop my stitch mark on the floor. I am going to leave a pretty long tail because we're actually going to use this to sew twice. And then fasten off, putting my tail on the tapestry needle again. And then you're going to fold this over, and you're going to fold it along the gray. I just go through the stitches on top, just going back and forth all the way around until it's complete. Now we have an eggnog looking thingy. We just need a handle, whipped cream, and a cinnamon stick, of course. But let's work on the handle next. So I'm taking this off, moving it aside. Ooh. I am going to, again, start with our magic ring with our 6 single crochets. If you use a lot of my patterns, you will know that's how I start almost everything. I like keeping it even with the 6s and continuing on, because I'm a big pattern person. 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to single crochet 6 in the back loop only. So normally you go through both layers like this. For this one, you're just going to go through the back loop. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, I'm going to add my stitch marker again to that post, and then I'm going to single crochet in each stitch through both loops for 11 rounds. So don't forget to go through both loops again, and then I'll see you at the end of those 11 rounds. I have all 11 rounds fastened off. I'm leaving a long tail because I'm going to be sewing using the tail to sew 2 parts to it. That made no sense. I'll show you. Putting my tail on my tapestry needle. And so this is our handle. So you're basically going to sew it here, and then you're going to sew it here. All right, I'm lining it up. That's why I like a bent tapestry needle for as well. I got these from Clover, which you can buy online or at Joann's. I think Michael's too, but I got mine from Joann's. Totally worth it. So you're gonna sew it up here. Or maybe try to do a neater job than me. I get a little rushed when I start doing videos. And I don't have a certain row count that I'm adding this to. I'm just kind of doing what looks right. Cool. and then I'm bending this down, and then from the inside I'm sewing through the front loops that we left and we didn't crochet through. And so you're going to finish that, and then we'll make our cinnamon stick and whipped cream. Let's make our cinnamon stick. You're going to start with your brown yarn and then chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then in the second chain, starting in the second chain, you're going to single crochet 10 all the way across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Chain 1 and turn, and then we're going to single crochet in the back loop only all the way down. I'm using Line Brand Skin Tones, which is kind of fun. I had some left over from another project, and I thought it was a pretty good color to use. I'll have it linked down below, so you can check it out. I'm going to be leaving my affiliate links for Line Brand and Premier, as well as Annie's for some crochet supplies, down below. It might not mean anything to you to order it online, but it means a lot if you use those links, especially if you're already going to be ordering online from Line Brand. You might as well help someone out. It goes a long way. Okay. Ugh. Okay. Chain 1. Then you're going to fold this in half. It's a little small, so just take a moment, make sure you got it. And you're going to be slip stitching through the back loop, the front loop of the stitches you just made into the last row. So just slip stitch through. So again, insert, insert, pull through. You can tell it kind of naturally folds on itself, and that's just where you're going to stitch it. I'm going to do this all the way down. All right, so my last one, fastening off. Again, leaving a tail so we can sew it to the whipped cream for the topping. I don't really know if it's whipped cream. There we go. You have your cinnamon stick. All right, let's make the whipped cream. I have my white yarn. We're gonna start with a coarse magic ring, 6 single crochets. Tightening. Then we're going to single crochet 2 rounds. So our first round is 6 stitches. Sometimes I find it easier to count in my head for the small numbers instead of using a stitch marker, but it's totally up to you. 3, 4, 5, 6. That was round 1, or the first round of single crochets, technically round 2. And then we're going to do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I'm going to trim my middle just so it stays out of my way. Adding my stitch marker. We're going to increase 6 times, so we get up to 12. So 1, that was an increase. If your little tails stick through, you can poke them through. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, putting my stitch marker back, single crochet in each stitch for 2 rounds. Next round is 1 single crochet and then an increase around. After that, you're going to single crochet in each stitch for 2 rounds again. All right, next round, single crochet 2, 1, 2, and then an increase. After that, you'll be doing not rounds of single crochet. After single crochet 2 and then an increase, you'll do 3 single crochets, an increase, 4 single crochets, an increase, and then 5 single crochets, an increase, so that it's equal to the size of this. All right, I'll see you at the end. All right, our last bit of crocheting, you're going to single crochet into each stitch around. So go ahead and meet me at the end and then fasten off with a good amount of tail. We're not going to be using it for sewing it, but we're going to be using it to curl this little edge. So I'll see you then. We are almost done. Okay, I want to take my tail. I made my tail crazy long. You do not need it this long. Sticking it through. All right, you can do that little trick again to go through here and then back to make it a little rounder. I'm not going to because I don't really care right now. Okay, then I'm going to go through the top. You're going to want to make sure you're not pulling it hard because you don't want this to bend. You're going to fold this over so you know it looks like our perfect little whipped cream thing. Stitch through or and then pull. Okay, you can do this a few times. You can also do it afterwards if you find that a little easier. I'm debating if I should have done that, but it doesn't really matter as long as you get the job done, right? Cool, looks good to me. Sticking this through. Now let's sew this. Trimming this so it gets out of the way. I'm going to be sewing with the gray because we're going to be sewing from the outside. Here's this. This is my tail. I'm going to trim, tuck in. Oh no, I cut the wrong one. That's okay. I'm actually going to be using the handle one, but it doesn't matter as long as it's gray. You can even cut off a piece and add it. Okay. Sewing in my whipped cream. I'm going to be sewing right along this line into the whipped cream. I generally only go through the front loop when I sew things like this together. I go through the cup, through the whipped cream, down only through the cup. So again, through the cup, through the whipped cream, and then down only through the cup. I'm going to continue this till I'm about 3/4 of the way around, and then we will stuff it and finish sewing. Stuffing time. Trick the stuffing, you want to pull it apart into small clumps and put it in one at a time. A little bit more time consuming, but this will provide the fluffiest look possible. And for this guy, you want to make sure you stuff the bottom fully so that it can sit up on its own, but also the top so your whipped cream is nice and fluffy as whipped cream should be. I'm kind of shaping it as I go by rubbing the sides, just so I can make sure I keep that traditional shape of round cupness. But it's looking good. I think this last clump should do it. Yeah, look at that, cutie. Okay, go ahead and finish sewing, and we'll talk about sewing on cinnamon stick and adding the little embroidery details. Okay, let's sew this bad boy on, little cinnamon stick. I'm just gonna do a simple whip stitch, which is when you go around it. You don't have to try to hide it. All right, where do I want it? I think I'm going here again, just like the other one. Kind of holding it. You can also pin it if you want it in an exact spot. I'm not picky though. All right, I'm gonna make a knot and then I'm gonna hide these tails. You could also use these as your embroidery details or use a different brown. My original, I used a different brown and then I thought that's kind of overkill for it to be a different color. So let's see how it looks with this. You're gonna insert red at the base. This is when I really like the bent tapestry needle, especially if you do a lot of embroidering smiles and smiley faces and stuff, facial expressions. These are really nice. I'm just going around with these little dash marks. Yeah. All right, I will see you at the end. All right, here's our finished product. We got the rim, the cinnamon stick, and the handle. Our whipped cream kind of mixes in with the eggnog, and we have our base. Yeah, it's a fun Christmas design. Give you an idea, it took me about 1:45. Obviously it's my design, so it's a little faster for me, but that should give you an idea about how long it takes. Before we leave in our official outro, I wanted to show you my other Christmas design. I have milk and cookies for Santa, as well as carrots for the reindeer. I have the pattern down link below, but comment if you want to see a video tutorial for this. I wasn't sure what y'all were interested in. But yeah, comment below kind of what patterns you want to see, tutorials, what you want to see in this channel. It helps me a lot. This was a really fun design to make. Again, link below. Works up super quick, great for Christmas decorations or like Christmas play sets. But thank you very much for joining me today on making this eggnog. I sure did have fun. I'm hoping to bring more tutorials to you guys. All the details for this pattern is all linked down below. Go ahead and follow me on all those socials. Hit that subscribe button. Y'all have watched a YouTube video, you know how it works. My name is Kendall here at Lousy Llama Creations, and thanks for joining me.